Hi, I'm Nell Marshall from Walled Lake, Michigan, from Little Nell's Pet Salon. And this is Nelson, and we're going to wash them and then show you how to use an Easy Groom, Easy Dryer to dry a dog the way that we require our staff to do and recommend our clients that wash their own dog. Okay, once you're finished washing the pet, you want to just use your hands and wring out any excess water. And sometimes the dogs will shake, which can be good or bad because it can get excess water on the floor, which can cause safety concerns. You just really want to take a towel and really gently aggressively, just towel off the entire dog. Giving them love and attention as you do it helps, because some dogs are nervous and scared. And just get every nook and cranny, don't be shy. I normally use the first towel to get this excess water off, which helps prevent the moisture in the air, which can also slow drying time because it just makes humidity in the air. So you towel that off. I normally drape it underneath them and do a second towel, just again going over them. As much as you can get off with this will help, because the dog does get a little bit nervous when you're using the Easy Groom Easy Dryer. Okay, another great product you can use is the Ultra Fast Blow Dry Conditioner, and that helps speed up drying time as well. Okay, now that we've finished washing Nelson with some lemongrass, which is a 24-to-1 concentrate, we're going to start the drying. We're going to start it off on a lower intensity, kind of starting at the rear of the dog, blowing off the excess water, and you're going to you want to start at the rear and kind of work down so gravity kind of helps along with the drying process, because as you get closer to the head, the dogs will get more nervous, and you kind of assess their temperament. And then as they become more comfortable and acclimated to the noise and the pressure, you can go ahead, increase the intensity of the dryer. I'm just going to blow all this easy stuff off, kind of working my way through them, except for the head. The head I'm going to wait till the end. All right, so now I'm going to take them out of the tub. I'm going to move them to the table now that we've got about, I would say, 50% of the water off. Because again, the more water you get on the floor from the table, it can create safety concerns. Okay, now that we've secured Nelson onto the table, we always use the groomer's helper. He's nice and secure. You want to make sure that this is a proper, you don't want to be too taut, because they can assume they're not hooked up and jump off the table, which can cause issues. So we're going to go ahead and turn the dryer on. Now we're going to go ahead and start on a lower setting towards the rear and work our way from the top of the dog down the leg, as gravity will help us do that as well. And you just want to work through the dog and make sure that you're getting as much water off as you can, slowly working through the dog with the high velocity nozzle. You always want to keep one hand on the dog as you're drying them, because they're nervous, and to help keep them secure on the table as you're drying them, slowly working through each nook and cranny as you're drying. The longer the hair, the farther away you want to keep the dryer with the nozzle on, because it can create whip knotting, which creates more work for the groomer after the bath and more pain for the dog to go through when you brush the dog. And the groomer's helper is great because it keeps the dog facing forward straight. They're not going to do a 360 on the table, because you're already battling with a dog that's not a fan of the noise and the pressure from the dryer. So as much help as you can get helps to keep the dog safe and secure while you're drying them. Not only does the blow dryer help straighten the hair, but it also helps remove undercoat and excessive matting with the help of the Easy Glide spray. Certain dogs' hair types dry faster, some slower, so you'll do different variations of how long you're working in one spot. You really want to work your way through an area until that area seems free and clear of water, and kind of work your way. You're going to get about 80% of the water off with this nozzle, and then we're going to remove it, and then that's when you're going to get the final 20%. again, starting towards the rear, you always want to start from the top and work your way down so that gravity's helping you, and then work your way from the back to the front of the dog, because the intensity of the dryer can be a little much, and it kind of acclimates them into the process. And this you want to hold right against the skin, because you're going to force that about 10 to 20% of water that's right close to the base of the hair, and that's what controls the shape of the hair, so it's going to straighten it right up, and you're going to hold that right against the dog as you're drying, and just use your hand and cup and you can feel the water coming off it, and if it feels cool, that means there's still water there, and this heat will really penetrate that hair and get it really dry so that the groomers can do a beautiful job, or you just brush it and it looks nice. And then you're going to work your way through holding this against the dog as close as you can, because the farther away you are, it can create more tension for the dog, because they don't like that in their ears and stuff. So you want to just really work your way through the dog, pressing it so that you're just forcing that water out so that you can dry the dog 100%, 110%. And then working your way again towards the front. Sometimes you may need help as well. There may be a dog that really does not like this. Nelson is a good specimen, but there are dogs in certain times when they really, really don't like the noise, like a dryer or a vacuum at home. Some people mess with their dogs, so you always want to have a helper on standby just to help you comfort the dog, because that can really make a big difference on the dog's next visit. When you're starting on the head, using your hand and holding it under the chin, you kind of squeeze the chin hair and then push your hand just for a little leverage. It gives the dog almost like a little shelf. It gives them something to rest on, so they're not going to be doing that pulling back as you're drying, because it is a little louder. Their ears are right there, and again, some dogs get nervous, from the noise. When you get near the ear, you want to squeeze the base of the ear and just get in there and dry the ends of the ear, quieting it by squeezing the ear. You're quieting the air that can go in there, and then you take your hand and you kind of hold it in front of the ear and fold the ear over and dry that outer part of the ear. The ear then creates almost like a blanket for the sound, and then you'll repeat the steps on the other side, never directly pointing the dryer in the ear, in the eyes, or in the nose. So then just get as close as you can, because the face is what the person that wants you to wash their dog, or if it's your dog, that's the thing that you look at the most, so you want it to look the nicest. And especially from the grooming standpoint, if the head isn't dried properly, it's not going to cut properly. So that's very important when drying your pet or dog. Thank you so much for stopping in at the Little Nell's Pet Salon in Walled Lake, Michigan, as we showed you how to use the Easy Groom Easy Dryer. And Nelson now looks clean and beautiful thanks to Easy Groom.